Yes, we're back. We're back again in X-Plane. We're back again to look at something new once again. And this time, another new plane from Just Flight. This time, it's the Robin DR400, which I must say, on first impressions, does look a mighty fine little plane. We're going to take it on a short flight, all of about 8 miles. We'll have a good look around the inside of it and see how it goes. Grab that guidebook to All Things New in X-Plane, and let's go. So yes, hi there, Steve here. Welcome back to X-Plane. And yes, the DR400, a plane that sort of fits quite nicely in with that sort of small planes around the 172 sort of mark, but maybe just a little tiny bit better. Do really like the looks of it. First impressions are quite good. I like a low wing aircraft. Do look really nice. I like the fact we got a canopy rather than doors. That's quite nice. And detail wise, yeah, there's a lot of detail. You can even see where we've even got a bit of sort of discoloration on the paintwork, and we've got runs down here where you've got water running down, and it's just a little bit grubby, and that's just brilliant. And a few marks down here. I just really like the fact that when planes like this are designed and put together, that it's not just, you know, standard off the shelf. It's actually, you know, they've gone and taken photographs of the actual aircraft and modeled them on those, and you know, little faults and all, and that's really good. You can't go wrong with that. So first impressions, yeah, very good. And here are the details on it then, which of course I'll link in the description below. So from the awesome guys at Just Flight, so the DR400, and a really good price as well. So high level of detail. We can look at some more information. So we've got the 430 in there. We've got radios in there. We've got an autopilot. It's support for the GTN 750 should you have one. We've got a logbook which we'll look at. There's a flashlight and lots of little clicking and switches and stuff, which you'll find hopefully great. Automatic fuel tank switching, if, you know, like me, you forget to switch the fuel off. You can simulate vapor lock, you can simulate spark plug fouling, and yeah, you can go really high level of detail in this should you want to. There's custom sounds for the canopy, for switches and stuff. There's a manual. There's a paint kit included, so should you want to create your own paint skin, so we'll have to maybe look at getting a Sims and stuff one done, and a custom weight and balance manager window, which we'll look at in a second. So I'll link the Just Flight page down in the description below. But for that sort of money, why isn't it in everybody's hangar? It's really good value. So let's jump inside. So here we are inside, and the level of detail again is really nice. Initially leapt in and thought, oh hello, we haven't got a yoke. We've got a joystick thing going on. That's quite cool. And yeah, it does look really nice. It's not looking too modern, so we haven't got a G1000 in here. We've got a 430 shoved up there, but it's got the quite sort of the right age of, I don't know, oldness, I suppose, to it, and sort of worn. I really do like that. We'll start by opening the canopy, because that's obviously what we would do to get ourselves in. From up here as well, from this little pop-out panel, we can also open the luggage compartment, so you can pop our luggage back in there rather than have to climb over the seats. So we'll close that for now. So we'll pop back in here. We'll pop the electrics on and avionics on, and fuel switch is down here. So we'll switch the fuel around. We'll give ourselves some mixture. And start it up. Now I like the fact that when I started it up then, it didn't start up at a constant RPM. The RPM slowly built until it stabilized out. That's detail. That I do really like. Definitely that is a plus for me. So pop some lights and things on. Now we've got a standard 430 over here, so we'll zoom in. we can put in where we're going, which is not going to be very far away, so I don't know actually why we're putting it in, but we're going to LFRZ. I'll show you in a second where we are. Currently in France. Let's just bring myself over. There we go. So LF. While the plane's warming up. R. And then I'll put Z in over here. So Saint-Nazaire is where we're going. I'm going to activate that. So a whole 8.1 kilometers from where we are. So autopilot I found here is stabilizator. It's this thing here. That's pretty cool. And obviously we've got the standard Garmin instrumentation there. It's really, really nice in here. So we've got the old, well, we've got standard dials that look sort of old and worn. Switch gear, we've even got a vibrating key ring, and that's always a plus. So there's our starter and stuff down here, and instrumentation there to show us what lights and things we've got on, and obviously headphones plug in down here should we wish to. Mixture control here. Throttles, we've got dual throttles going up here, so they move there. Air in and out here. Carb heat is there. Pitot heat, landing lights, etc. So we can turn those on from here or off accordingly. Parking brake down here. Reserve fuel is there. So there's our fuel switches here. Trim wheel there, and flaps are here. But yeah, looking really, really nice detail wise. Fuel gauges are over here, and temperature gauges, etc. down there. But really, really like the level of detail. It does look nice. So we'll close this canopy. From the awesome little pop-out that you get here with Just Flight. So, pop-out menu. First one opens the door. Second one opens the luggage compartment. Third one brings you up the navigation. So we can get rid of that if need be. So let's do that from there. This then turns on the windshield reflections. So depending on whether you want to save FPS or not, you can turn those on or off. I quite like them on. And you can do the same with the instrumentation. That's interior lights on or off. Here's our autopilot, so you can bring that up from there. That is our pressure. So I guess you could now set the pressure itself. Well, that's turning it from one to the other. Oh, there we go. That makes it easier. Auto fuel switching, of course, you want that on. Here's our bits you can tweak. So you can simulate spark plug fouling and vapor lock, should you wish, if you want that extra bit of realism. Weights and balances are done from the next one, so you can set the fuel levels. So I can fill it back up again, and you can set the weights of your passengers, etc. in here. So that tells you where your centre of gravity then is. That's the volume control. So the normal thing for a Just Flight aircraft. So you can adjust the volume controls accordingly there, which is a really good touch. That will reset the whole plane, so we don't want to touch that one. This is our checklist. So we can start with obviously the very beginning. Engine start, before start, sort of pre-flight checklist. You can go through each of those, and then you can tick them as you do them, just to make sure you've done them, and then untick them if you haven't. That's a really cool feature. So you forget, parking brake set, yeah, avionics off, mixture, yeah. So you can then go through them and highlight them when you've done. I like that. That's cool. Don't use them personally, obviously, but flight's computer is here, so that will tell you how much range you've got based on your current conditions. So that's quite handy. Logbook then shows you how far you've flown in various aircraft. So not just you're flying in this aircraft, but in all the aircraft. So logs all your flying in X-Plane. That's your ground handling. Obviously brakes are engaged, can't push back at the moment, but you could do it from there if you wanted to, and that sets the chocks on or off. Obviously we can't do that because we've got the engine running. So our short little flight then we're going to do is where we are here in France, down there, and we're going to take a short hop, 7 miles. We're going to take off from here, turn, and then land at Saint-Nazaire over there. So try a takeoff and try a landing, see how it is. If you're new to my content then, Flight is not going to have a regular slot on the channel. When I get something interesting, if we do a great group flight, as we do a few times a week, something that's really great as far as scenery or an enjoyable flight, then I'll post that up on the channel on either a Saturday or Sunday. And reviews and things like this, then I'll post up as well. So flight will either be a Saturday or a Sunday, depending on what other content I've got. If I've got a random Sunday video to do, then it'll go up on a Sunday. If I've got if tourist bus is on a Saturday, then it'll go up on a Sunday. So, you know, it will be there. If flight is going to appear on the channel, it will be at a weekend. So, but flight will be carrying on. So let's give it some beans and make our way out. Very twitchy on the rudder pedal, but being only a light aircraft, it would be. Definitely liking the noises though.
Approaching 1-1.
Okay. So
on runway 11, 2,900 feet remaining. Flaps.
So let's pop some flaps in. And that brings up the lever down here. So the first notch of flaps, I think, is all we're going to need. There's basically a takeoff turn left to heading 81. That's what we're going to have to do. So let's give it the beans.
Caution, short runway.
We don't worry about it being a short runway. Because we are airborne. Well, that got off the ground really, really nicely. Flaps come up. Airspeed's increasing. I love the fact we've got this keyring jiggle. And that's getting into the cruise quite nicely. So we'll change our heading. Because over there in the distance then, somewhere, in fact there, is our runway. There's Saint-Nazaire. So airspeed's picking up. Flaps have gone down. We are still climbing, but about to cruise out at 120 knots. So this is going to be a short little flight. Yeah, we've got enough room for a couple of people in the back. Yeah, quite nice indeed. So it's a sort of step up really as far as quality goes from like standard 172, but if you want something a bit different and something really well modeled at a really, really good price, then yes, I think this could be the plane for you. We'll turn the autopilot back off, we don't need that. So our runway is just up there. I love the way it sounds when it idles. It's certainly different having the stick as well. So probably a bit fast, but there's our runway. So I'm going to do a longer flight with this. We've got a few flights planned. We'll be doing some round the world trips that we currently do on Twitch a couple of times a week. And one of the areas we're in currently is the Caribbean. So something like this really well suited to like short little island hops. So we'll certainly use it in a longer flight. When I do, I will post that up on YouTube as well. So you'll be able to see it in action in a longer flight. See how it copes with a nice long cruise. But I think it's going to be really, really nice.
Flaps. Flaps.
We don't need flaps.
Approaching 7. Flaps. Flaps.
Yeah, it's fine. Give me flaps, flaps. So weather looking a little bit gloomy here in France.
Unstable. Unstable.
It's fine. It's not unstable. But yeah, initial impressions, really, really nice. So just slowing down quite nicely. Buzzing the treetops as we come into Saint-Nazaire. Great landing. And down we come. Could have probably been a bit smoother with that landing, actually. So we'll twiddle ourselves back round.
On runway 25.
So if it's a hot day now, what we can do is taxi with the canopy open. Probably not something you should be doing, so I'll probably have broken some sort of law. But even the canopy, the front of the canopy down there is warm. I do like that. So yeah, it's only a short little flight. I said I will use it further in a longer flight upcoming, somewhere around the Bahamas and the Caribbean, where we currently are. I'm guessing the canopy shut automatically then because I got above a certain speed. And it's like, nope, it's dangerous. Right, we're up over here. By the administration building. And there we are. Let's put the parking brake on. Oh, you can hear the parking brake go on. That's quite nice. And then we'll turn the electrics off. And all the lights off. And there we go. First little look then, and a short flight in the awesomeness that is the little DR400. So we'll put a link to it in the description below. But for $9.99 here in the UK, how can you not have that in your hangar? A great plane. We'll do a long flight in it and get up in the cruise, which I'll post up on YouTube in the next week or so. But wanted to put a first little look at it out there. So that you can hopefully grab yourself a bargain. I'll also link below the Discord server. We've got an awesome flying Discord community. So we have group flights a couple of times a week in a variety of aircraft, from jets to little props like this to everything in between. So check out the Discord and maybe join us for some group flying. I'll post some more flight content soon. But until the next time, if you have been, thanks very, very much for watching.